Today we're going to go with some vintage 4x4s on Moab's Steel Bender Trail. This is during Easter Jeep Safari 2025. This video is a Quasi 8 production.
This is the beginning of Steel Bender. There's the rest screw down there. Just gorgeous.
Steel Bender is a pretty neat trail. It starts out in the Mill Creek area. It's one of the few places in Moab that even during the summer is pretty cool down in this creek bottom. A lot of this footage that you're going to see in this video is shot by Todd Stewart. Todd does a lot of his filming for social media like Instagram. That's why a lot of this footage is vertical rather than horizontal. A little bit narrower than our usual footage. You can check out Todd's stuff at Outdoor Mountain Man or Original Iron Off-Road on Instagram. It's really great to get down into Mill Creek and be cooled off a little bit before you get out onto the regular rocks and ledges of the Steel Bender Trail.
It's really pretty. Yeah. That's another thing I like about Moab.
Eventually you do climb up out of the creek bottom and start climbing up on more typical Moab red slick rock ledges and steps. This rig here is driven by Peter Bowler's CJ5. This is just a wide shot of the first few ledges and steps that you come up to. Here's Jesse Coombs in his series Land Rover he calls Sweet Pea. Jesse always seems to find the more challenging lines to take in Sweet Pea. Just some of the glamour shots of some of the other rigs. I'll try and give you a little bit more information on them as they go by. It's Kevin Johnson and his wife Desiree in their cool flatty. Peter again. Steel Bender is an awesome trail with different kinds of challenges that you can kind of, some of them you can go around and some of them you can't.
Stopped up here.
It's Ernie Ungaro and his flatty Lucky, followed by Tim Cooper and his series Land Rover penalty box. Coming up now, we got Jared Eddington. His Jeep is a M38A1, kind of the military version of the CJ5 family. There's Chris Carlson in his awesome CJ3B, decorated up like an Air Force Jeep. There's the Johnsons again. Put this little clip of Jesse in just because it shows some of the challenges that our small rigs have on these trails. He bumpered into this step, and so he had to back off and take it at an angle in order to get a tire on it before his bumper hit.
There you go.
That's just one of the many things that we have to do differently than the big Jeeps with giant tires that can just roll over that stuff. Another challenge we have on Steel Bender, there's some areas where the trail is really rutted out, and the ruts are pretty deep, and they're wider than our vehicles. So we kind of get sideways in the ruts because we don't fit down in them. Now we're coming up to one of the first big obstacles called the wall. This is on an optional loop of Steel Bender, the wall, but it's one of my favorites. And this is me, Stan Fuller, in my 48 CJ 2A Grandpa's Jeep. Banged my gas cap into the side of the wall and it came off. I have to figure something out about how to make that not happen anymore. Billy Douglas in his tricked out CJ 3A. Again, here's Ernie Angaro and Lucky. Lucky was a little bit unlucky that day in that his locker, he has an e-locker in this Jeep, and it just wasn't working right, and he struggled with it all day, and it made it so he had a hard time on this obstacle. In fact, he backed off after a minute. This wall obstacle has 3 different lines you can take. This one in the middle is the one I like the best. There's one to the right you can't see, and another one to the left. You'll see it in a minute. Tim and Penalty Box have no issues. The way we film these videos is everyone in our group usually has a phone and they have it out taking videos, and at the end of the day or the end of the trip we share our videos onto a common folder, and that's what I use to do the editing. Here's Jared in his M38A1. Jared doesn't have a locker in his front axle, and you can see there that it made a difference, and he ended up going around as well. Kevin's Jeep has a V6 in it that really can lug down low. This is Alan Kohler in his 3A thumper. No problem at all.
Oh, barbecue sauce on that, buddy.
And Jesse, Sweet Pea, they make it a little bit more entertaining. This is how we got the other Jeeps up on the, this is the left-hand line on this obstacle. Just pulled them up with rope.
I think you'll be okay. Just come real slow. You're right on the right line though. Okay, you're gonna drop hard. There you go. It's all good.
Now we're coming on to the biggest and probably the most famous obstacle on Steel Bender. This one's called Dragon Tail. And this is a big Jeep that was in a group in front of us coming down the main line of Dragon Tail. And this is a huge four-door Jeep. See how big that thing was. When we go down it, we take a different line to the left,
Keep going. Keep going.
which has more ledges and steps and kind of more gradual, but still it's pretty steep and pretty sketchy.
You're right.
And this is me coming down.
I think he wants to straddle this bottom crack, so driver.
Come on.
Just a little driver.
Just keep coming down. All the way. Come on down. Come on down.
I'm just going to give you a second look at my descent of this obstacle from the top, just to give you a better idea of how sketchy it looks and feels when you're actually on this obstacle and coming down it. Peter grabs on a little and tries to keep me from flipping over.
Why don't you spot it? Hold up to the top of this guy. Give me a phone. Now passenger. Hard passenger again. Hard, 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 hard. Yep. Perfect. You got it. Go on forward. Don't turn. Whoa. Straighten out. Don't turn. Straighten out. There you go. Come on forward. Be all right. Yeah. Nice job, Billy.
Get the right seat, Mark.
The Land Rovers are a little different animal, especially on a downhill obstacle like this, because they're front heavy. The original Land Rover motors are quite a bit heavier than the Jeep motors. And Tim in penalty box here actually has a Chevy LS V8 stuffed under that hood, and so he's even more heavy in the front,
Okay, you gotta go hard, passenger.
so it feels a lot more sketchy coming down when you're that heavy in the front.
Nice and easy. Yeah. All right, now Tim, you're gonna have to roll a little bit when you come off this. Okay, so let it roll. Go, 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 go. Now drive towards me. Okay, now you're good. Thank you, Jess. Yeah, no problem. Nice job. Back here one time.
Here's that. Know your limitations.
Driver? Yeah.
So Jesse and Sweet Pea, they actually have the original Land Rover 4-cylinder engine, but still in its original configuration, it's a lot heavier than the Jeep engine. And he is 80-inch wheelbase, just like our little flat fenders.
Keep your wheels driver.
Right below the Dragon Tail obstacle is
Do that.
another pretty
Do that.
sizable
Do that.
wall
Come
that
on
we
down.
have to fall
Now
down,
straighten.
basically. And it was a little trickier this time around
Oh, don't do that. Don't.
in that there's some rocks
Can't slide
uncovered that
off.
are poking up, and they reach up
I
and
just don't want
grab
you
our
to
shackles or
slide your back end
bumpers,
off
make it harder to get off of there without sliding sideways.
barbecue sauce.
Whoa! Put that down in Granny.
Or maybe it was just because after I came down first,
Right there.
I walked back and spotted everybody else down. Maybe I just spotted them right into their shackles or something.
All you can do is come down.
About this time, some of the guys decided they didn't want to drive their Jeeps down the Dragon Tail,
Rock in the middle of his
and
shack.
so they turned around and went back the way we came. So our group's a little bit smaller on the back end of this trail.
Come on, just keep going. I don't know about that.
Generally, we try to stay away from rock stacking. It's kind of like if you have to stack rocks, are you really making the obstacle? We used to stack a lot in the past, but sometimes there's just nothing else you can do but throw a rock or two under the tire to get a shackle or a bumper or something up over a snaggy rock. I hear Tim with his heavy front end, and he started to slide sideways a bit. Got a little concerned about it, so we put a guy or two on the back to help hold him. But there's actually a notch right there to the left of his rear tire that holds it pretty well.
It looks to us, Tim, like you'll be able to go forward. Okay. This way. You've got some pretty big knocks over there.
I wonder if we need to do something with that. Barbecue sauce.
Getting jammed here and not rolling out of it is probably a bigger.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're on it. Just go slow, slow, slow. As slow as you can go, even if you're just sliding more tires.
That's excellent.
They're beautiful. Nice.
Job running.
One last one.
Barbecue sauce.
my front lockers on.
Sure. Oh, slow as you can go. I know you go fast.
All right, so now I'm here.
Now you're there. Now you just
Okay.
slide down off of it.
It's the same exact thing for you. It like
That's right. Okay, now
I think that bumper hit the
can
side.
can I call it now?
No, you can't come forward. I don't believe.
Why not?
Well, let me
Well,
try.
maybe you can.
I think
He'll slide, but he'll slide to that notch and stop. That's what. Oh, that could be. Yeah, but if it turns him, that'll be good.
Stand hooked him up.
All right, I'm gonna try crawling forward.
He's gonna come forward. That rear end's coming over.
How we looking?
Yep.
You're gonna drop into that notch and you'll be fine.
Okay.
You're the other way. Steer driver now.
Thanks, brother. Good spot.
nice job.
This is that same big Jeep that was ahead of us, big 4-door. And he had some sort of a mechanical problem. I don't know if he broke a drive line or an axle or what. But for whatever reason, he decided it would be better to go up this section backwards. I don't know that it really was better, but it was more entertaining, at least for us, there live. So I just stuck this in because I thought it was fairly entertaining. In the meantime, our group was kind of going up around the other side. Most of us didn't even drive up this spot. But we were just watching them try to make it up backwards, slinging dust and rocks and bouncing.
Curtis, if you get the back end over to the left again. Okay, just a little driver.
There we go.
Yeah, try bumping it. Watch how far you go. Your back end should
He's still got one more to go.
go forward a bit. Driver.
I mean, why aren't you going backwards?
I know.
Oh, hell yeah, I didn't know.
Jesse was last in our line, and he went ahead and drove up this spot. So this is the spot where that guy was going backwards. And this is how it looks in a short wheelbase with all the lockers working, going forwards.
Gonna climb there?
Go slow at an angle. There you go. There you go. You little goat. The little goat that could.
I put this little clip in just to kind of illustrate the kind of things that we are doing all the time throughout the trail. First off, Peter, who's taking this, got kind of a panorama of the scenery around, which I thought was great. But Billy was also trying a harder line that most of us didn't take. And we all do this all the time. We'll choose a different line or try a little different way to make a climb. And sometimes we make it and sometimes we don't.
A little harder.
This particular time Billy didn't make it up this shelf. But it's all part of the fun and all part of the trying new things and seeing what we can do with our equipment, our smaller tires, skinnier tires, lower
Jess, can you come up
horsepower,
diagonally this way?
those kind of things. What can we do with this equipment?
Drive or use the ramp.
I'm sure a giant Jeep with 40 something inch tires would roll right over this. But we have to kind of think our way through things sometimes.
That's the line.
Most of the time this kind of footage doesn't make it into the videos. It's kind of, it's not really a fail, but not making the hardest spot. I kind of don't like to highlight that a lot of times, but I just thought it would be illustrative to see the kind of things that we're doing and trying and working on with our little Jeeps.
Oh man.
Kind of brings us to the end of the trail. When you get to the end of the trail, you drop back down and cross over Mill Creek again. You can see my tires are wet right here because I just came out of the creek. And then there's this big step here. This step is optional. You can drive around it to the left. But mostly we didn't come here to drive around stuff if we can help it. It's a big step though, it catches our bellies. You don't hit it just right.
I think come on. Well, you can try sending it again, but I think you need to go driver if you're going up it. Shoot driver. Nope. Guess it is passenger. Go hard passenger. Split the, don't come off, yeah. That way get that stuff in the middle. Oh, easy there, Stan, yeah. That was it, but you got it. Now you need to get back over this way a little bit. That's the line right there. That is the line, you just gotta send it.
Ernie was still having trouble with his locker, so he went ahead and took the more leisurely route around to the left, but this gives you a good shot of the stream crossing.
We might need to move up if he's going to climb that.
Jesse and Sweet Pea always seem to make things look pretty darn easy.
Try that again.
While Peter
Go
works on getting his CJ5 up this big step, this brings us to the end of our video. I'd really like to thank you all for sticking with me this long
Back down like
and
you
watching.
are.
I especially like to thank all the people that contributed
Go a little more.
footage for this
Send it.
production, including Todd Stewart, Jeff Nikovich, Peter Bowlers, And there's probably others in there too.
Get it farther, passenger.
Jeff was talking about never having broken an axle shaft.
Steel Bender's a fun trail with
I
lots
broke
of
axle shaft, never broke a rear
challenges and water crossings and all kinds of different things. It makes it really an interesting and great trail.
Pull up on it slow and then do that one more time.
Good spot.
Thanks for watching.